In this video, we're going to talk about recording points, how to override points, and why you have to do all this. All right, let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to Golf League Tracker. So I'm going to go over some point concepts in the system and explain how to do points, how to record points, and why you have to do it. All right, so I have a test league set up here with 16 players, and I have a point system configured. It doesn't really matter the details on that point system. And I am going to go and enter scores, and I have players with no handicaps. And in this league, we're going to establish handicaps after 2 rounds. And what happens is Golf League Tracker goes in, once everybody plays their second round, the handicap is calculated and retroactively applied to those first 2 rounds, at which point you can record points. And what record points does is it locks in the points for each player based on your point settings at that time. And then when you look in the league standings and other reports, those are the points that are shown. And what that allows you to do is either change the point system mid-season without affecting previous rounds, or it allows you to override points for the match if you have special rules in your league that the system doesn't handle. So I'm going to go and enter a bunch of fake scores. I'm in my test system, so I can do that real quick. I'm just going to make random scores. And you'll notice in the handicap box here in the score sheet, there's no handicap for any player. So my only option is after entering scores, I can save and exit. Okay, I can't record points at this moment. So when we get back to our matchup screen here, you'll notice my scores are entered, but no points are recorded. And if I go in here under action and say record points for this match, it will have a message at the bottom, one or more players don't have a handicap for the scorecard, so I can't record points until the handicap is established. And this is true for all 4 players on the scorecard, even though I'm not playing any group or team matches. All 4 have to have a handicap in order to record points. Okay, so I'm just going to cancel out of that. And I am going to go in here and record or enter scores, just random scores. I don't really care what they are for this demo. For each group. And we're going to save and exit. And again, random, save and exit. So that's round 1. Now let's say we go and play round 2. I'm going to do the same thing. And again, my handicaps for this particular league are set to established after 2 rounds. So I'm going to enter and edit scores. I'm going to make my random scores, save and exit. And again, points are not recorded. But I'll show you a quick thing. If I go to players and we look, and we can see I have handicaps now for 4 players because I've entered 2 rounds for 4 of the players in the league. So if I go back in here, I'm going to complete my scoring for all the groups. Now, if you have a player that was absent for one of these first 2 weeks, that player still won't have a handicap established because I have my league set up to establish after 2 rounds. So I would have to wait another week for that player to be able to get a handicap and record points for any scorecard that he's on. So what I like to do in my league is I don't record points for anybody until everybody has a handicap. Otherwise, you're going to have league standings that some people have points, some don't. It just gets confusing. So I tell my players, look, I'll update the standings once everybody has a handicap. So now that I've entered all scores for my players, you're going to notice something. We're going to have a record all points button up here. And that's because now that everybody has a handicap established, I can go in here and record points. So the way I would do this is the easy way. I'd start at round 1. And now I can simply click the record all points button. And they'll say, do you want to record all points? Yes. Now, if you didn't enter scorecards for scores for one of the scorecards, you won't be able to do this because it's going to record points only for those who have scores entered and who have handicaps on that scorecard. So now that we have points recorded, if I go into Stats, League Standings, you will see points are now updated for all the matches. In this league, I have it set to 2 points a whole match play and 2 points for the low net score between the two opponents. Now, one of the things you're going to notice here is at the top of the screen, it says one or more rounds don't have all their points recorded because I haven't done record points for round 2, and it tells me that. Round 2 on 5-8 do not have points. If I go and look at the standings for round 2, you're going to notice that points for this particular week are all 0, and the total points from week 1 are accumulated into my segment points. So to update my standings fully, I need to record points for all my rounds. So I'll go back to Admin, Weekly Admin, enter scores and points, choose round 2, and I can click on record points to update everybody. So that's one way to record points. Another way is group by group. So now I can go in here under Action and say record points. And this will show me a detail of how it's going to record. And what it also allows me to do is to override these points in the points box. And if you're a 2-person team league, you're going to see a column for individual points and a column for team points. But if you have special rules that the league cannot do or the system cannot do, you can go and type in whatever points you want for this match. So let's say I am going to adjust Henry to 4 points and Diane to 16 for whatever reason. I have some rule set up, and I'm going to hit record points. Now it's 16-4 instead of 15-5. I can go into Stats, League Standings, and you're going to see 16 points for Diane, 4 points for Henry, because I overrode those points and typed them in. If I go back and enter scores and points and record points again for this match, it's going to recalculate the points based on the settings that I have, and you'll notice they've reset back to 15-5. Okay, so to override the points, you're going to go in here, record points, type in the points, type in or click record points, and then those points will be locked in. Now, one caveat is that if I now click record all points, it's going to recalculate every single scorecard on here, and it will give you a warning to that. It will wipe out any points which you have overridden in the past. So just something to be careful if you do have some special point options in your league. So I am going to record all points. I'm not going to override anything. And now when I go back to Stats, League Standings, you'll notice the message at the top of the screen saying that I haven't recorded all points is gone. And now we have points recorded for the week, and we have total points up to this point in the season. Okay, I'll show you one other way to record points now that we have handicaps established for everybody. When I go to enter scores for week 3, go to enter edit scores, and I'll make some random scores. Now you'll notice I have a couple extra options. I have save and record points, so it will save the scores and record points all in one click. Or I can go save and override points, and it will save the scores and go to the record point screen where I can go and type in the points and override it for that match. So typically what I do, I don't have any special rules in my league. Typically what I would do is enter my scores, click save and record points. And now when you go back to the matchup screen, you can see scores are entered, points are recorded for that group. Now one other thing, if you look at the detailed points score sheet, this has hole by hole points displayed for everybody. This will not have overridden points displayed on the score sheet. And it says right here, the detailed point score sheet does not include any points which were altered or overridden by your league administrator. So to see the points that they actually won, go view your league standings. All right, I hope that helps. Explains how to record points and why we record points. And if you have any questions, contact support, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.